but we are ready for our next game, and we are, in fact, going to have Druid versus Warlock.
Oh, okay. So we saw this matchup a little bit last series, but this one looks a little bit more like a.
I'm crossing fingers for Zoo. I'm crossing fingers for Zoo, though, on the Warlock side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a pretty standard Druid deck from all appearances. Oh, well, did I say I was hoping for Zoo? We're going to get Handlock.
Yep. So it's going to be a pretty similar matchup, but Druids again don't typically run naturalized like we saw last series. It'll be interesting to see if.
Ooh. That's an interesting hand for a Handlock there. You start with Alex Straza, Leroy Jenkins, and Shadow Bolt. Mortal Coil's not great against a Druid because they don't typically run a lot of creatures that just have 1 health. You got to work them down to 1 health and then basically earn your extra card from Mortal Coil.
Yeah, honestly, both of them didn't really start with very good hands.
Yeah.
So there'll be some time. There will probably be 2 or 3 turns here that we just kind of work up to the 4 or 5 mana here. Twilight Drake's great draw, though.
Absolutely. Twilight Drake is the key card you're looking for as a Warlock playing the Handlock game. Okay, so with Innervate, you could potentially Innervate Chillwind Yeti here and get a presence on the board.
Yeah, the Yeti was definitely a good. Oh, he's not going to do it though. Usually that's a.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you want with Innervate is the Chillwind Yeti turn 2 play there, or turn 1 with a coin.
Right. Except for the other day when I played it against a Hunter and then got Deadly Shot, and then I just flipped all the tables.
Okay,
anyway,
so he's gonna throw. he's gonna throw down the Ancient Watcher here, and I think he's gonna have the option to buff it with a Mark of the Wild.
Right.
Maybe even silence it. Make him active here. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next draw.
Okay. Well. There he is. Life taps, gets a Hellfire.
Yep.
All right, so back on the Druid side here. Can a little more naturally play into Chillwind Yeti with just the coin there. Saves his Innervate a little bit later.
Yep.
Now, of course, Innervate, as we mentioned before, you love getting out of turn 1, turn 2 Chillwind Yeti, something like that.
Yeah.
But there is certainly the potential for him to play a little bit earlier Ragnaros later on, or maybe a Karen on turn 4, but it really depends on his draws.
Yeah, Innervate, easily the most powerful card, I think, in the Druid, or what makes the Druid so powerful is that ability to kind of ramp your mana curve up there. Okay, so it looks like he's going to be our Defender of Argusing there, and providing a really strong board here. Double taunt, double 5/6 taunt, which is not the easiest thing to remove for a Warlock here.
That's right, and he doesn't have the 6 mana, so it's not like Siphon Soul is available to him. I mean, he either has to run into one of these creatures twice to kill it, effectively negating the Twilight Drake. I'm trying to think. I mean, there are Shadow Bolts around, but neither are a great place because he can't just follow it up with a Mortal Coil.
Yep.
He doesn't have a lot of great options. He doesn't want to silence too much here because he still runs into the same problem.
Yeah, silence doesn't really help him here. Tapping, I think, was a smart move. He does draw Soulfire. It's not, again, it doesn't work out perfectly for him, but it gives him some options here. He can remove the Yeti with by hitting the Twilight Drake and using a Shadow Bolt here. And if he wants, he can remove the Argus too, but I don't think it's that great a value using the Soulfire there.
I definitely agree with you. So he can get to clearing board next turn, especially because, as we mentioned before, without Naturalized, Druid doesn't have a lot of huge removal options. Their mini removals in the form of Wrath and Swipe and things like that are very situational, and you have to line up your numbers perfectly.
Okay, so it looks like...
And he's thinking about Shadow Bolt, maybe Mortal Coil on the Chillwind Yeti there, keeping the Twilight Drake alive for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's going to opt for that draw, and just leave the Ancient Watcher there for now until you can find a very efficient way of removing it. He's going to throw in on his own Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Unfortunately, he doesn't have many Taunters on his side, so no Sunfury Protectors or Defender of Argus to be able to buff those up a little bit.
Yeah, so the Warlock is getting kind of low in health, which, again, with a Handlock can be a good thing, but the Druid does have a very rangy finish with the Savage Roar, Force of Nature, which he has the Savage Roar, and, even if you get some minions on the board, Savage Roar can be even better without, it can be still good without Force of Nature.
Definitely, I agree with that, because don't forget that also does apply to the Druid as well. So let's see here now. He is just going to clear out the Twilight Drake. Yep. I like that play. He doesn't feel a ton of pressure right now. I mean, he wants to make his move in the next mana or two. Once you start drifting off to 10 mana, that's when the Handlock's going to really show his strength, the amount of cards that he has available. Yep. Let's see here. Bloodmage Helmnos, not a great draw because it can get Wrath, and the +1 damage I don't think applies very well right now. Oh, unless he wants to combo it up after this.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's what he's going to do here.
So Ironbeak Owl, oh, that's a cool play. So Soulfire's going to take that out. It gives him a huge board now, and all of a sudden that Savage Roar combo we were talking about before has no merit.
Yeah, exactly. And Legion of Hellfire, that's the card he wanted to lose, I think, out of all of those.
Well, this is an obvious swipe here, and he's going to clear board with it, which is pretty nice. Oh, and he can even innervate into Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, which is really great. And again, he's setting up a really good finish here with Savage Roar if he can just keep a couple units on the board, because Savage Roar is going to give all of his minions +2, including himself.
That's right.
So if you can get, what, 2 minions on the board, you get 6 extra damage there.
1 mana short of Alexstrasza. Mortal Coil is not great. Siphon Soul has to be played here. He couldn't just throw out a Molten Giant or he gets too close to lethal.
All right, this is a crucial turn here.
Cairn is good, but Cairn is not great. It obviously is going to provide a lot of resilience to the board. Even something like a follow-up Siphon Soul or something would result in another 4/5 from popping up. So it's cool. It gives him board presence. Oh, and there's that Lord Jaraxxus.
Yeah, Jaraxxus is a nice draw, but he's definitely not going to play it here. I think he's going to opt for the Molten Giant. He doesn't have a taunt, so it's a little scary for him. He's going to heal up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's a good play there. It gets the Mountain Giant out because he's getting close to the point where it's just not going to be useful anymore as we drift later into this game.
Okay, now at this point we've got the Force of Nature Savage Roar combo is a possibility, so we're going to be watching for the Force of Nature draw from here on out.
Mark of the Wild doesn't really have a good target here, though. I mean, it's not going to make any one minion more resilient to the Mountain Giant. It does prevent from both of his taunters from being traded out. But the issue for the Warlock here is that if he decides to trade with those with the Harvest Golem with Cairn, we're just going to see another 4/5 and a 2/1 pop up. So Savage Roar is still just as powerful.
Yeah, I mean, this play right here, I think he's trying to decide whether he wants to remove the Earth and Farseer or just hit face. And he's going to opt for just removing that. The Giant still has to go through either of those taunts. So there's no need to really hit it on your turn.
All right. And we'll see what our Warlock drew into. And it is a Siphon Soul, which again doesn't have a lot of value. It's just going to leave another minion if he decides to go after Cairn. Well,
still not great, because both of these guys have death rattles that actually summon another unit.
I mean, if he does it right now, I mean, he's going to leave a 2/1 on the board, and that's it. I mean, because he'll clear with Cairn, and then he'll use Shadow Flame after that.
He's going to play Molten. Oh, no, he's not going to play Molten.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he's going to follow with Molten here.
Okay, so that's more what I was expecting. That negates the Savage Roar from being a real possibility, and the Warlock's doing what he needs to delay until he can get those big cards out.
Okay, so Swipe, not the card he needed.
No, neither is Mark of the Wilds. That being a 2/1 versus a 4/2, it prevents some damage, and he's kind of forced into using it because there's no better options, but it's not like it's great for him.
Yeah, and there is a question whether he should use Swipe or not, just to give him a top deck next turn, but he's going to opt not to, and we'll see what he does here.
That's actually a reasonable point there. Twilight Drake is reasonable. Alexstrasza would also put him back up to 15 health if he feels like he needs it at this stage. The Molten Giant is already out there.
Which I think he should probably play it safe here.
Yeah.
And, either Lord Jaraxxus or Alexstrasza. I think he's played. Has he played both Molten Giants? I can't remember.
I'm almost positive he's only played one right now.
Okay,
so although I've been saying all these, if memory serves me right, I've probably been wrong about all of them, and the internet is letting me have it right now. So thank you, internet.
Okay, let's see if the reason I asked is because Lord Jaraxxus kind of puts Molten Giant out of play from here on out.
Right.
You have to drop below 5 to even be able to play Molten Giant, because Jaraxxus has a weird effect on Molten Giant.
Yes. All right. Well, Alexstrasza is what was thrown out there for half a second. I mean, Jaraxxus is cool and puts on pressure, but I just don't think it's necessary right now. I definitely agree with the Alexstrasza play.
Yeah, I think the Alexstrasza play is probably a little bit better. Both are actually pretty good, honestly, in this turn. So.
Oh, and that's what we were talking about, is that Swipe, if he decides to play it, is going to interfere with Ancient of Lore right now. So he draws 2 cards.
Yeah, he's not likely to die next turn with 30 health here, so I think that was the right choice. And he still has to remove the Ancient of Lore.
Ooh, there is a Leroy Jenkins on the other side, though. So let's see here. Leroy Jenkins. Is he drawn to Power Overwhelming? No, just Shadow Flame.
Okay, so he's got 22 if he wants.
Yeah, and I think this is a good safe play right now because with the amount of power that Jiraxis plus
boy.
Leroy Jenkins plus Giants plus Alex Strauss is going to have next turn, it's pretty ridiculous.
Let's see what the draw is. This is going to be the top. If he's going to top deck, he's going to top deck right now. Force of Nature. See if he does it.
All right, here we go.
Force of Nature.
Here it is.
No. No Force of Nature. Okay, so.
Earth and Ring Farseer could get him.
Okay.
That's a big game hunter. That helps. Oh, but the problem is he can't do that and heal.
Yeah,
he could only do
exactly.
that and give himself an armor. That's it.
I think he's, wow. I mean, he could swipe, he could heal, or he could big game. So I think swipe's probably going to be the play here. He's going to take a lot of damage here.
Yeah.
Can he die here? Let's see.
Leroy, but there's nothing else to follow that up. So 8. Okay,
He's got 17. He's got 17 damage there. He's going to heal up a little bit too.
Yep. I mean, this is fine. I mean, Zeph doesn't really have to do much right now. He has to keep whittling down his opponents, you know? I mean, yes, if we're going to see that Force of Nature, that could be an issue, but... Oh, and he completely clears board here and gets himself another card.
Wow, okay. Interesting.
So he is susceptible next turn. We'll see what hits.
Okay, we'll see what the card draw is here. And he still needs a Force of Nature, I think, to win here.
Yeah. And it's
Nope.
Wrath.
Okay,
Well, Wrath gets him a card.
Yeah, Wrath gets him a card.
And it kills Alex Strauss, so not the worst thing in the world.
Okay, he can still throw down a couple units and a taunt here, so he's not... Okay, YOLO Ragtime?
YOLO Ragtime, I don't know. Oh, looks like we lost our program feed. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, and I think that's better right there. YOLO Rag is awesome, but maybe not when an extra $1,000 is on the line right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
Oh, and it looks like that's
well
going to be
played.
it. Oh, of course, yeah. He has the Siphon Soul, and he has the Leroy Jenkins as
too.
well.
Yep. GG.
GG, there we have it. Zeph takes game number 1 with Handlock. Handlock is currently 4.
I know, that's the theme. The theme of the event so far has been Handlock.
Technically, Handlock is 4-1 right now because it did lose in the mirror match. So
Okay,
that's the only
okay.
time that
That's
it lost.
true.